Islam, family. About to start Holy Day service. As a Mufti, all meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. At this time, I'm going to call on the chairman to open the meeting. I am the chairman. All rise, face east, feed the Moorish American pride of myself. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, True Ali. Ameen. Islam. Islam, Islam, Islam. I'd like to start out giving praise to the Most High, Supreme, the Almighty, Eternal, incomprehensible. Name who most of us know him as, because most of the world, around the world, I would say Muslim, is pretty dominant. Call him Allah, Father of the universe. Beautiful and powerful name. I'd like to give honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I think his other name is El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. Sharif Ali. Abdul Ali. I stand to be corrected. I get it right eventually. Give highest honors to this brother, because this brother opened up a pathway to consciousness. And some of us have taken that path. Others have yet to take that path. But we give honor to this great and mighty brother, mighty Lord. He the mighty of all mighties, 5 times greater than all other prophets. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He brought us our nationality and our divine creed. Brought us discipline. Brought us our culture, our heritage. He brought us back everything that we needed. So this brother deserves our honors. And he has secured so much for us, we just don't even know. If we finally open our eyes and start even having a desire to see what the brother done that for. I like to give honors to El Furrow, Elmer, and I'm not doing this in any particular order, but I just felt a call out to give honors to somebody else. But this brother, carrying on the prophet work, bringing the truth to our people, opening up our eyes, giving us that pathway again. You know what I'm saying? Because it was lost. We were stirred away by some insidious brothers. Brothers that want to do their own thing. And all this time we thinking that everything going the way the prophet intended to go. But unbeknownst to us, it wasn't. People, leaders that we gave highs honors to at one point was leading us astray. Brothers that had their own ideology or just took what the prophet brought and then added their thing when their whole intent was to take us away from the true path. But we're back on the path now. That door and that light has shined so you can walk through that door. But everybody got to walk through that door. Everybody got to be seeking that truth. Truth is not going to come to you unless you're seeking it. So we give honors to El Furrow, Elmer, for reestablishing, our rights and prophet brought us in which will free our people, brought our nation state back to us that we can be a part of. We don't have to be up under the jurisdiction of the United States. We don't have to be up under the jurisdiction, control, and authority of our oppressor. Excuse me. We don't need to do that no more. We got an opportunity now. We got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Come up out of that. But you got to believe. And through your belief, you got to come to know that this is what it is. All things can be proven. Honors again to that brother. I'd like to give honors to Brother Marcus Garvey, the forerunner of the prophet of Ali, who's known for saying, up, up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. What you will? Your will, not nobody else's. Your will. We give honor to all brothers and sisters around the world that are picking up that torch and light, and they're letting it shine. That light of truth, that light of consciousness, that light of development, that light of in-tuneness, and enlightenment itself. Those that promote these things, I give you honors too, because you deserve honors. Give honors where honors is due. At this time, I'm going to read from Salvation, Allah, Unity, the Moral Science of America, Divine Constitution, Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moral Science of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moral Science of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moral Science of America. That's been a reading from the Divine Constitution Bylaws. We're going to carry the rest in thought. At this time, read from the Holy Quran, Moorish Quran. The Holy Quran of the Moral Science of America, divinely prepared by the noble Prophet Ali, by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen states of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. On the first page, it states, know thyself in Allah, the genealogy of Jesus, life and works of Jesus in India, Europe and Africa, and the land of Egypt. I am going to read my chapter. I'm going to read, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to read from chapter 3. Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life. Instructions 1. Again, Elihu met his pupils in the sacred grove and said, Instruction 2. No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. Instruction 3. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. Instruction 4. They will not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them. That's been a reading from the Holy Quran, Moral Science of America. Now, in this day and time, there's things going on that we never imagined that we would ever experience before or ever see. And it makes you wonder why you're doing what you're doing, why other people doing what they're doing, and why people are doing some of the things that are destroying themselves. Remember a song about what's his name, KRS-One, self-destruction. You ready for self-destruction? destruction. That's what our people still doing, destroying themselves by the choices that they make every day, and they don't even realize it. But the key to the destruction is the lack of knowledge. They lack knowledge. To do anything, you have to know, right? You got to know. So when you don't know, then you can't do. You know how they say, if you know better, you do better. You can't do better if you don't know better. That's why you got to have a mind, and you got to be open and willing to learn. And this is what love is about. Love is about having high esteem, having high self-worth, having value in yourself. We don't value ourselves. We don't value ourselves enough to pick up a book or watch a video that holds some type of substance that upon watching it, it got you thinking different than the way you thought before. There's another saying that goes that your best thinking got you where you at. Your best thinking got you where you at. Because we can't rise no higher than our own thinking. So if I want to rise above my present situation, I got to acquire some information that's going to allow me to rise above my situation. You got to have that level of respect and love for yourself to give yourself that drive and motivation and determination and that willpower to go and pick up that book and start reading. Because the moment you pick up that book and you start reading, you immediately come into the know. As you start reading, you begin to learn things that you didn't know before. And that's important. That's when you become active in your life. Because you're actively doing something that's going to bring about some kind of change. Because that's what your hope is. That's what your drive is. You're looking for change. You're looking for something different. You're trying to improve. But you need love. Elihu, this unity of life, they start out saying that no man live unto himself. For every living thing is bound by a cord to every other living thing. We all connected in many ways. It's like I can say something that influences you to make you happy or to put you in a good mood, or I can say something to put you in a bad mood, make you sad, depending on if you let what I say affect you. It's another factor. But we are bound by a cord. We were created not only to be equal, so to speak, but we were created from the same, I won't say cloth, and I'm not speaking uh, from a standpoint of how we raised. We raised different. Some people was made from a certain cloth, that hard cloth, and some people were made different, where they just not as tough. They don't have that drive or that stamina or that endurance, so they give up, they fall weak, And some of us was made from that cloth, but we was mixed with something else, where it requires us to go through a little something, experience a little something. And from those experiences, we realize what's needed. We realize what we need to do. When we begin to read, we begin to seek knowledge. We begin to seek that truth. We begin to seek some direction. We come to realize, man, I got to acquire something better. And the first thought that we have is to go to college or finish school, high school. We ain't finished. And And if you end up in a joint and you got both of them, the next level is college. From college, you're running into people, meeting people, and they got the material, and they share, and you read, and you acquire more knowledge. You like, whoa, I didn't know this. Damn, man, this is powerful. This is deep. You know what this got to do with us being alike, bound by this cord to every other living thing? That's the thing. I just was expressing through my travels. I ran into people that was meant for me to run into. You know why? Because I called them into my spirit. Because what I desire, unlike people that don't desire nothing, you call other people into your spirit, your atmosphere, that don't want nothing either. For the most part, the prophet brought us something so great that those who have read the material, that has the knowledge, they know. But there's a thing called circumstance. Brothers find themselves going through certain situations where it creates certain circumstances and they're tested. And some of us, when we take a test, it takes a long time to finish. Some people fly right through the test, and then others don't get done quick because it don't take them too long to get finished. But depending on what you've been going through, determine where you fit at in the category. And based on what you've been through already, you can see where you fit in that category. But the key is, you still might be in that situation. You might have passed that situation and have elevated. And some of you still going through that situation. Regardless of what your situation is, we got to continue to acquire knowledge because it's something more that we need to know, we need to learn. Because the situations that we're going to go through, and we want to be able to be prepared to deal with those situations. We want to be prepared to deal with the developments that's coming and be able to continue to elevate and advance and develop and grow. Because if you're not growing, then you got to be dead, right? That's like all other living things on earth. They grow upward. They don't go down, they go up. Most things need sun, they need water, they need oxygen. So do we. It's nature. We're supposed to be growing, we're supposed to be evolving. But you can't do it without knowledge. You got to have knowledge of self, you got knowledge of your creator. He's telling us in this chapter that read it again. No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cord to every other living thing. First part, no man live unto himself. Don't think that you can go through life without having to deal with somebody else. You got to deal with somebody else. So it's our duty and our obligation to not only treat ourselves with love, but to extend that love to other people. Why? Because they are a part of our evolution. They are a part of our life. They are a part of our circle. Whatever part they're supposed to play, whether you accept it or reject it, that part gonna be played. So we got to acknowledge that. So as we move, we can move in harmony. We can move in peace. We can move in love. We can move in truth. We can move in the many ways that is going to produce harmonious situation. Some of us are not used to living in a harmonious environment. We used to conflict, arguments, uh, debates, and fights, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that harmony don't exist. It just don't exist in your world, your circle, your environment, because you haven't created it. You got the power to change what's going on in your circle. Sometimes you might just have to change your circle, you know. But with that being said, uh, said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. That's a powerful right there. See, we don't know nothing about love. Our people, they think they know what love is. We was taught from the TV, but for the most part, that love is an emotion. Every time we see some people kissing, about to get in bed, and all this other, we associate that with love. Well, we see family show that's on TV or movie where they get together, have certain events. Okay, we associate that with love. But love is much bigger than what we've been taught. And that's something else we need to learn about. Love. If God is love, then love's got to be vast. It's got to be incomprehensible. So therefore, who's to say that I truly understand what love is? Every day I should evolve my love, my understanding of love, so I can perform love better than I did yesterday. So again, we're going back to nature. Everything that's living grows up with. We got to improve in order to live. If we're not living, we're just merely existing. A lot of you Moors out there, y'all know that y'all in a situation. Y'all know that y'all not doing what you're supposed to do. Y'all know that y'all didn't put the profit down. You might say you use the profit in everything you do, but the prophet said 10-year meeting. We know we ain't been 10-year meetings. So one of our objectives should be creating a temple so we can attend our meetings. One of our objectives is to connect with our brother, in the sense of when two's in my name, Allah is present, God's present, So therefore, if you're not meeting, then we're God. If you're not connected, if you're not remembering the relation that bound you to love and unity, then what are you doing? Are you disregarding the prophet? He said, if you lose confidence in the prophet, turning your cord and button, cease wearing your turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. So let's keep it real with ourselves. Have we lost confidence? Or are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? Now, if there's any doubts, what I'm saying, then we got to step it up. Now, I made a call today, or a couple of days ago, yesterday, or whenever it was, holy day meeting today, such time, at such place. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hear from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that read the text, got the Facebook post or whatever, should have been able to and demonstrated where you stood. Because I made a call. It's like the prophet speaking through me, so you're supposed to take heed. Same way if you say something, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like the prophet speaking to you, especially if you're calling to me. Come on, let's acknowledge what's going on. Every living thing is bound by accord to every other living thing. You know the lesson. We got to get this right. When a call is made again, answer that call. You know what I'm saying? Get in tune, get in line. If it's just in thought, if you may not be able to show up, okay, we're going to carry you in thought because we heard from you. We got word from you. Knowing that you are in you in this particular situation, you're trying to work your way through, or you're afraid of this, or you're afraid of that, whatever the case may be. We know and we're moving on that knowledge. But I ain't going to take up too much more time. I want to close this out. people, they will love and not demand love in return. A lot of times we don't want love unless we're being loved. We don't want to give unless we receive. Same thing, right? But the Bible says something to the nature that give first and you shall receive. We switch it up. The Lord shall refuse us, guide us, thinking that we demonstrate no high when we really in the low. Because we ain't paying attention to what we're saying. We ain't paying attention to what the other person's saying. Because we didn't fell back asleep. We got to wake back up. As Moore say, he used to express that when the Moore get off his square, sometimes he don't even know he off his square. So the Moore try to justify what he doing. He be all the way in the low. May take him a year to find out he been in the low. That's a long time. But sometimes it takes some people a whole year. Some people a week. Some people a couple hours. Wherever you at. You know your experience when you come to mindfulness that you just did something that was out of law. And some of us at that far that where we don't even reflect no more. And reflection is the business of man. So we ain't been conducting that business, then we lost confidence in somebody. So come on. Lace up in bootstraps. I'm saying handle your business. You know what your business is. Yeah. It's like some people feel like they don't get nothing for Christmas from somebody. They ain't gonna get nobody else nothing. I say Christmas because a lot of people caught up in it. And we all experienced it. I'm saying we got a past that consists of that. But when you become a man, when you renew your mind, when you mature, when you grow up, you realize, man, you got to be the same all the time. You can't let nobody else change you. Can't let nobody dictate your behavior. Can't let no fool lead you to be like them. You realize that, man, regardless of how people treat me, I'm going to treat everybody with the utmost respect. Why? Because that's what I want. The Bible tell us, do unto others as you would help them do unto you. So it's what people be doing anyway. Loving and not demanding love in return. But we so angry. We demand everything. So angry. Can you love yourself and be angry with yourself? Mm-mm-mm. Some of us tell ourselves that we can. But that was my message. That's what the Lord blessed me with on this holy day. You, as a chairman, I'll call it grand sheet to read divine warning on the grand sheet to read divine warning. Divine warning by the prophet Noble Ali. Prophet warns all Muslims, governor's order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while they work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards to Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive the reward from Allah for the unjust deeds. All true Muslims must obey the law as laid down to them by the Prophet. If they lose confidence in the Prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing the turban and fez, and return to the state where our Prophet found you. This is the holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Ali. And if the Prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The Prophet, therefore, is sending out divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their Prophet and the temple. This is the everlasting movement founded by the Prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Ali. Usually at a meeting, we'll go into business of the Secretary, Treasurer, and any events and things that we got going on, we'll discuss. And then we open up for announcement. After announcement, we'll close with prayer. So we're going to go straight to prayer. All rise, face the east, and repeat the Moorish American prayer to myself. I usually ask when we have guests, if you wish to pray with us, we ask that you stand 5 2 feet at a 45-degree angle. Keep your name. I forgot how to go. Feet at a 45-degree angle. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. If you wish not to pray with us, we usually ask that you remain standing, hands uncrossed, and in silence. Repeat the Moorish American prayer to myself. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, True Ali. Amen. Islam.